What's good, mother uckafays? Do you guys think YouTube has a problem with me using Pig Latin for my intro? You think they're going to catch that? I hope not. I'm trying to be good. It is your boy, the Bishop of Barnes and Noble, because it's July and we are all Criterion all day for the month of July. I just wish I could get my wife to show off her tits in one of these videos. Then I'd really have some views. Mm. Oof. She is passed on that sofa right now, dead to the world. She is out. As I'm sure many of you guys have, I recently took a little trip to a Barnes and Noble to see what was going on and see what I could find. So I have made my first wave of July purchases. The Barnes and Noble sales are one of the rare times that you actually get to go out into the world these days to find physical media, to lay eyes on it in the wild, put it in your hand before you buy it. Get what you get whatever they have in stock, which is, I don't know, it's kind of a old fashioned ritual, I suppose, but it's one that I enjoy. And so, even though you can avail yourself of any title that you want for 50% off in the month of July via the website, I still find it to be enjoyable, maybe even a touch sacred to get out there and find what you can find in a brick and mortar store because you can't really do that very much these days. There's not a lot of option for that. And so I think you should take advantage when you can. And so I did unfortunately miss out on a couple of the things that I really had wanted to pick up. The big one that I was looking for was Sorcerer on 4K. My Barnes and Noble did have Sorcerer, but regrettably only on Blu-ray and no 4K, no care. That's what I say. So I left that Blu-ray there for some poor person to pick up with their food stamps or something. And I was also looking for the combo set of Yojimbo and Sanjuro on 4K as well, but they did not have either the Blu-ray nor the 4K on the combo pack. They did have a Blu-ray of Yojimbo by itself, but I need Sanjuro as well. And as we've already established, I won't go on and on about it, but no 4K, no care. So unfortunately, I was unable to get those. I will keep my eyes out on those for the remainder of the sale because those are the ones that I'm still looking for. But I actually did manage to find a couple of other things that are quite nice and that I will share with you today. I'm also going to try to keep this spoiler free. Like I'm probably going to yap about each movie because that's what I do, but I'll try not to give away anything. So if I hold up a movie you haven't seen, rest assured, I'm not going to tell you who dies in the end or who makes love to whom or whatever happens, and I won't tell you what happens. So this is going to be spoiler free. But the first one, and I haven't even seen all of these either. So there's a few of these that I can't spoil just because they were blind bots. But the first one up is Blind Buy, actually. Paper Moon. I got Paper Moon on 4K. Excited about this one. The father daughter dynamic, even though they're not playing father and daughter in the film. Ryan O'Neal, who by all rights is an absolutely crazy mofo, or was, I should say was. I shouldn't talk about him like he's still alive. He lived a long time for a guy that was as into drugs as Ryan O'Neal was. But then there's Tatum O'Neal, and apparently, Tatum O'Neal is his daughter, obviously. They are related, same last name. And she does not play his daughter in this film, but it's a father-daughter dynamic. I have two daughters, so I am a bit sentimental. I am nostalgic and sentimental, if I may admit my weaknesses here on the internet for all of you strange people I don't know. But I heard that Ryan O'Neal was so whacked out of his mind. I don't know if it was just a history of drug abuse or if it was like acute drug abuse on that day. But at his longtime love, Farrah Fawcett's funeral, he'd been with her, off and on over the decades. I think he was with her a lot during the 70s, late 70s, and then they split for a while because obviously, he can't keep his PP out of Strange V. He puts his PP in Strange VV all the time. That was Ryan O'Neal's thing. And they got back together. when she was diagnosed with her cancer, and he supported her through that. By all accounts, as a perfect gentleman, but he wasn't a perfect gentleman at her funeral. And apparently, Tatum O'Neal was at Farrah Fawcett's funeral as well, because she had known Farrah Fawcett for decades as well. And apparently, her own dad, Ryan O'Neal, was so either like whacked out of his mind with grief, or grief plus the cumulative effect of a lifetime of drug abuse, whatever it was, he hit on his own daughter. And the way she tells the story is, it sounds like he didn't even recognize her. That may have been because they weren't in close contact for many years leading up to. So it's not like he saw her 2 days earlier and she was like fresh on his mind. It's like he hadn't seen his daughter in 15 years. Plus, he has a long history of drug abuse. Plus, he just lost the love of his life to cancer. And so I think maybe the conflagration of all of these things caused him to hit on his own fucking daughter. I'm trying not to say the F word, but that's how ludicrous Ryan O'Neal is. So I probably shouldn't get sentimental about the father-daughter relationship in this film, because I swear to God, if I hit on my daughters at my wife's funeral because I'm that whacked out of my mind, I'm gonna be pretty whacked out of my mind. That's wild, the way I abuse myself. I'm looking forward to Paper Moon. That's a Bogdanovich film. I can't spoil it for you because I haven't seen it, but maybe I'll watch it soon and I'll come back and tell you how I liked it. It's one I'm looking forward to quite a bit. Another one I got, I'm I've been excited about since they announced this one. This is the two-pack of I Walked with a Zombie and The Seventh Victim, both on 4K, of course. I think phenomenal value here. I have only seen I Walked with a Zombie, and that was like 20 years ago on either AMC, probably not AMC, probably TCM, Turner Classic Movies, because they do tend to show a lot of films of the 30s and 40s, and they do sometimes show, their highbrow horror movies, sometimes thematically in the month of October. I am saving these for the month of October. I will rewatch I Walked with a Zombie for the first time on 4K, and for the first time in something like 15 or 20 years. And then The Seventh Victim I have not seen, but I'll check that out. I'm gonna sit on these. I'm gonna wait till October, but I'll come back in October and I'll tell you what I think, if you should pick these up too, if you haven't already. They're both films of, I think, 1943. I don't have my glasses on and I can't read that fine print. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think anybody can actually read this shit, especially this stuff right here that talks about like the year and the how long each movie is, and monoaural audio and stuff like that. I Nobody can read that without a magnifying glass. I don't believe you if you say you can. Anyway, I think they're both 43 because I don't have my glasses on, 1943. And we all know I love that era. I'm probably a little bit more partial to the 30s than the 40s, but I think the 40s had some really lovely horror films too. I mean, I think they started branching out the horror genre. I view them as very much as products of that time. Very creative. I think very atmospheric, lovely to look at. I love black and white photography, as you guys know. So I'm looking forward to checking these out again, and I'll let you know what I think. But who doesn't love a two pack? I do like the idea that $30 for this when it's 50% off two movies. That's $15 a movie. It's pretty good entertainment value for what you're paying. I think what you get is a pretty good value. I will say I'm not a huge fan of the split cover. I do prefer the way somebody like Vinegar Syndrome does a two pack, which is to put a slip cover on there. No annoying text on the back of the slip cover. You've got movie one on one side and movie two on the other side. So you can have your two pack of two movies. Again, these movies are related in their producer, Val Lewton. They're connected in some way. It makes sense to package them together. And it's certainly cheaper to buy these two in a single package than pay $25 each for two 4Ks, a Criterion 4K being $25 during this sale. That would be $50 for the two movies if they came in separate cases. So $30 for the two movies is a much better deal. I saved $20, which I spent on Choose me. This movie, I'm not even sure what to tell you guys about this movie. Again, I don't want to spoil it for you. This is one that I have seen. This is a 1984 film, written and directed. I don't wear my glasses during these because of the glare, but I can't see. I can't read shit without my glasses, y'all. It's dark down here. I can't read shit without my glasses. So the film was written and directed by Alan Rudolph. So I don't believe he based this on anything, but it does feel very much like a play. It's kind of limited in its locations, kind of all revolves around this one red light district. There are a few other locations used, a few of the homes of the characters are visited, but by and large, it takes place around a single location, interior and exterior of Eve's bar. And it's just I don't know, it's an oddball of a film in a good way. I think Pauline Kael, the famous critic, did call this movie, I think she said bonkers. She either called it crazy or bonkers. I'm not sure that I find it bonkers per se. I'm sorry, Pauline Kael called it bananas. She called this film bananas. And it is maybe a little bit bananas. There's a funny thing where like one of the characters, every time she leaves home, her roommate character is still there. The phone rings. This film is interesting. It's described by Criterion as a comedy, romance, drama. So it's kind of a blend of these things. There is romance. The film deals largely with the characters' kind of web of relationships, and it feels very much like it's a small world because all of these characters keep bumping into each other. Another reason why it feels kind of like a play, there's just a few characters. They form this kind of web by their intersecting relationships with each other, and it makes the whole thing actually feel quite sordid. I think calling it a comedy, as Criterion does, isn't technically incorrect. It's not like 40-Year-Old Virgin. You're not going to like laugh out loud. It doesn't have like witty zingers. It's more of like the way the story continues to fold. Characters keep taking turns and unexpected events unfold. I don't know. It's comedic, I guess, in that sense, and comedic in the sense that it's not overly heavy film, but it is, I think, a comedy in the sense that the Shakespearean sense that it's a more lighthearted affair and it doesn't end with Hamlet dying. So it falls into the comedy category. I definitely think it's well worth checking out. I like the neon vibes of the title sequence. I really liked a lot of that kind of mid 80s vibe. Teddy Pendergrass does the soundtrack, and it has the character of a soundtrack that one artist does the whole soundtrack. You know, there are a few movie soundtracks where the one artist like Queen did all of Highlander, right? And so you've got several Queen tracks on the soundtrack, and it creates this kind of sonic consistency. I think Choose Me is the perfect example of that kind of sonic consistency that you get from Teddy Pendergrass doing all of the music. And it doesn't have, as a result, the 80s music kind of vibe. I mean, it's a movie that came out in 84, and it doesn't feel like one of these mid 80s movies full of like pop culture. Like, we're going to shove some Madonna in here, and here's a little Michael Jackson, and good luck licensing this on 4K in 30 years because we've just filled it up with so much pop music of the 1980s. It's going to cost an arm and a leg to license this on some new format, and so you get what you had with Little Darlings or something where it's locked up forever because nobody can license the damn music. But Choose Me has a much more soulful soundtrack. I don't need to tell you that. It's Teddy Pendergrass. You already know. So it doesn't have that kind of bright, poppy 80s sound to it. It does have like a more soulful, which I think by the end of the film, you will find more fitting, more befitting of the story that's being told. But the characters are all very interesting. Our protagonist is oddly likable. Um, he really seems to have a very interesting backstory. And every time he tells somebody something that he was a spy and he was in the army and he killed a man, and it's like you think he's just making shit up. Like he's just saying whatever comes to mind, and then later they find like the newspaper article. It's like, holy shit, like everything he said was true. He makes for an interesting character. I don't think Keith Carradine is like the best actor or anything like that, but I think he does a very effective job, and I think the character is well conceived and well written enough that he's very, very watchable. So, um, choose me. I say check it out. I think the cover art is very striking as well. I like that for a Criterion cover art. I like the extreme close up on the mouth and the hands and the telephone. You've got the bright red, you've got the pearls, you've got the telephone. The telephone is a visual motif. It's a reference to aspects of the film. There are phone calls. One of the characters is like this talk radio, like love line type of hostess, and so she talks to other characters on the telephone a whole lot, and so thematically, it ties into the film quite well. So I say check out Choose Me. I give that a thumbs up. Go check it out. As for the last one I got, this was not a big haul, guys. It's only 4 movies. I just picked up a couple to get me through the weekend. And so for my last one, this is one that I've been meaning to buy for a long time. I got this one. I think I actually bought this one on DVD from Barnes and Noble like 21 years ago. I mean, it was a long time ago. So this is an early spine number that was put out on 4K, probably not super recently. It's probably been a couple of years. This is one of the, I think, earlier Criterion 4K releases, but it is Terry Gilliam's Time Bandits from 1981. And on top of being a Terry Gilliam film, a director that I enjoy and appreciate, Time Bandits, I mean, it's an 80s film as well, 81, one of those early 80s movies that, I just appreciate Gilliam's sensibilities. He, of course, also did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 12 Monkeys. He's done a number of things. And I can't think of a movie that he's done that I don't like. I'm not saying that I love all of them or they're all in my top 10, but I enjoy all of them well enough to own them and to watch them repeatedly over years. So I upgraded to the 4K of Time Bandits. And this is one of the few times, this is one of the rare times with Criterion that the packaging actually got better. With Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, amongst others, Rules of the Game is another one that I can think of. The packaging on the DVD original from 20 years ago used to be great. This one was just a regular old DVD, just a, you know, DVD case with a piece of paper in it. This now has been upgraded to this sick lenticular slipcover. As you can see, I've still got it in the package, but it's a rare Criterion slipcover and it's lenticular on top of that. Mm, this is better than the Rad. I mean, I know you guys might want to fight me about that, but it's a better movie than Rad, in my opinion, and this is a sicker slipcover than the Rad lenticular slipcover that people want to fight each other over nowadays on eBay. So, Time Bandits better than Rad. You heard it here first. Rad is okay. I don't dislike Rad. I like Time Bandits better, and I like that cover better, and I think that's a better lenticular than the Rad one. So I said what I said, and I'm not going to apologize for it. Anyway, that was it. That was the haul. It wasn't a big one. I know it was small. It was modest. I'm trying to stay humble, you guys, and I'm also trying to keep my eyes out for a couple of other releases that they did not have at my Barnes and Noble. So as I'm traveling about the land of New England, I will perhaps stop into another Barnes& and Noble and see what they have, see if I'll get lucky on the 4K for Sorcerer and Yojimbo and Sanjuro, or are they gonna be the ones that get away this month? And I'm gonna have to wait till November, which would be a shame because I'm really wanting to rewatch Yojimbo and Sanjuro, and I know I could do that because I've got the DVDs right over there. The DVDs for both of those movies are right over there, but they're out on 4K now, and so I would like to watch them again in that newer format so I can get a taste of what that is like. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, thanks for checking out the haul video. I know it's not much. I know it's humble, but I gotta go buy $30 worth of chlorine tomorrow to go dump in that stupid thing so I can go jump in there without getting like some kind of crotch rot or toenail fungus or some crazy shit. You don't want to be jumping in some dirty pool water. That's not my way, at least. I'm keeping it clean, baby. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I'll catch you on the next one when I come back and do some more shameless Criterion content, trying to capitalize on the theme of the month. Watch Choose Me. Fuck rad. I'll catch you on the flippy dippy, yo. Peace.